Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and we're planning for February and I'm actually pretty excited. I did something really different compared to what I did to last year, which was my BT21 theme, which was actually pretty dang cute. It had very sweet pastel colors, it had the cute little mascots, and it literally screamed almost Valentine's Day. A bit, I can say. But this time around, I was like, nope, I did not want to do anything cliche like love is in the air or hearts or purples and pinks. I wanted to do something different, and I kind of thought about how I wanted to approach that for a while. But in that time period, I was actually sick. And if you watched my last video, you could really tell it was a little bit of a struggle bus because I couldn't really talk. I struggled with that voiceover. I'm actually surprised I managed to do it. It took me like 3 days, but we managed it. So in that weird frame of me being sick, all I really wanted, and as weird as it sounds, was lemon water. Just simple hot water with a slice or two of lemon and a little bit of honey, and that literally made my day. And I basically had lemon water for about 2 weeks, and I just really wanted to get better. And so with my theme, it gives me a nice comforting feeling, as oddly as that sounds. It gives me more of like a rustic home cottage feel, and when you're sick, all you want to do is be comfortable and feel like at home. And looking back at this and even doing this voiceover definitely portrays that, and the fact that I just really wanted to get better. But I actually am very proud that I did this theme because I never really do themes that are based on how I'm feeling per se at the exact moment. I've done themes where I've thought about it for months and I just really held on to that idea, but never a present moment of emotion. I don't know if maybe I'm getting a little bit sappy or maybe I'm thinking too far into it, but it's nice to look back and feel how I felt in the moment as I was pretty much planning out my February plan with me. So my main medium that I used for this plan with me was actually my gouache set, and the last time I actually used that was back in my September plan with me. And the reason why I opted to do gouache paint instead of like my Tombow markers was because ideally I was wanting to go for more of a watercolor look. Now, this is my first year using Amanda Rachlee's dotted notebook, so I really didn't know how it would actually hold up to any form of water. So I thought using actual watercolors would be too much for the paper. So I ended up doing gouache paint because it actually takes a shorter time to dry, but still gave me that watercolor look. Now, you could have left it just like that, but I wanted to still give it more of a doodly look, so I just lightly outlined the doodles and gave it a really cool aesthetic to itself. I really don't know what to call it, but it just looks very doodly and sketchy for me. And ever since I ended up cutting my washi tape in half from my last video, I've been really into it. I don't know, I never thought I would like skinny washi tape. Now I'm a fan and I'm obsessed to the point where every time I go to work, I find my little like half cut washi tape bits with me. It's like weird. It's like my supplies always follows me wherever I go, but I've been in love, and I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. So I basically just speed up the process of my calendar layout, and let me know in the comments down below if you actually want to see me do out my entire calendar overview. But to me, I feel like it's nothing really special. Probably the only thing that would be different is the colors that other people would use. But I basically wanted a very spaced out, very clean looking setup. So my primary colors that I did use that were not part of my gouache paint set was I used a gray, a taupe brown, and a yellow marker, and basically kept that as my color scheme throughout my plan with me. And I ended up using just like a simple brown paper bag as my little cutouts for my headers. I don't have any craft paper, to be honest. I've never used craft paper and I always wanted to, but I have too many paper bags from grocery shopping, so I thought maybe it would be better to use and be a little bit more environmental friendly. So I will use my paper bags until they're all gone, and then I'll get some craft paper. Okay, so this is where things ended up going downhill for me. So I ended up getting a new camera for Christmas, and it was my first time using it. I get a little too impatient and I get a little too excited when I get something new for my YouTube channel in general. And I didn't take the proper, I guess, time to learn how to use the camera. But basically, it's going to be a bit blurry here and there throughout the video, and I really apologize. If I tell you why it's blurry, you probably will laugh at me because I laughed at myself when I was actually editing the clips. It's basically, it's a fingerprint. I am using a GoPro for my editing as of right now, and I'm not used to anything not having like a little camcorder flip thing. I don't know what it's called, but basically it's a fingerprint and I'm so sorry, but we will work on it next time. So I'll say please bear with me. I was actually very much on the fence because of this with not putting out this video. I don't like putting out content that I'm not 100% happy with it, but because I really did love the theme, and I know it's just a learning curve, and that's essentially what my channel is about, is just learning and growing and just improving from your past experiences. I still wanted that to be a lesson just in general. So I will still post this video, but just my fingerprints, my god, it's like, it's always me. It's always Lindsay. But back to the plan with me. So basically I am doing my habit tracker and my mood tracker, and I did bring it back. I did say last month that I will bring back my mood tracker, so I did. But because my aesthetic for this month is a little bit more clean and minimal, I basically stayed true and strong to my trackers. So basically they're more of like a graph style, which I actually do love. It's weird, I never thought I would, but I do. And I kept it very simple with 3 different types of moods, basically happy and an type of feeling, and then a very like sad or down in the dumps type of feeling. For my habit tracker, I am tracking my water intake, my plants, vitamins, whether I get up by 8 a.m. in the morning, and this one's actually new. And I did see it, and I don't remember who I saw it from, so I'm so sorry, but I did see one track if they had breakfast for the day. And I usually don't eat breakfast in the morning, which is terrible. I should, but I think it's really cool to see when I do eat breakfast, because since I work so much, I don't really get to eat a lot, and I really only eat maybe like 1 meal a day with like a snack here or there. I usually rely a lot on coffee just because of how much I work, which is bad for you. You know, you should have a good diet every day, so make sure to eat actually as I'm saying this. But I wanted to make it a goal to at least start my day off with breakfast and see how that changes my mood or just my appetite in general. So it's a good little experiment to see. With my playlist, I'm still doing the same type of layout that I did for my monthly calendar, so I did a lot more of the color blocking just because I didn't really know what I was planning for my playlist. Most of the footage did not look well, so I basically made the decision not to incorporate it, But for some reason, I was really in a lemon mood at this point, and I am not too much of a big fan of just throwing fruit everywhere on a page. But for some reason, this really did work well, and I love it. It's probably one of my favorite layouts for this month, and it looks great whether you just leave it as a gouache painting, like a little drawing, or you can actually do the outline itself. I think doing the outline itself makes it look a little bit more cutesy, a little bit more fun, and not so serious. Sometimes when you do paint something and you don't really outline it, it does look almost, I don't know, I can't think of anything else but serious. It just doesn't have a lot of character to it, in my opinion. And here we're actually doing this another quote page. I really didn't know what to do with this page, if I have to be really honest. I didn't want to start my weekly spread here because I felt at that point I would be just condensed to one page to fit everything, and I didn't want to be in that situation. So I basically made another quote page. This one I really freehanded it. I didn't put too much thought to it, so I know that my jar looks maybe a little sideways if I have to be honest, but it's okay. That's the creativity of art. It's never really perfect, and definitely for me, I like the way that it is because it gives it a little bit of character to it. But basically, I just did this drawing of basically a spoon of honey, just kind of filling up the jar. I thought that was like pretty cute, and it did take up most of the space, I must say, so it was a good, I guess, win-win. And I pretty much made the quote saying, "Honey, your soul is golden," just because, like I said, at this point I was really sick. I just wanted to feel better, and even though I tried my hardest to get over my cold as soon as possible, it still made me feel pretty like down in the dumps. No one likes being sick, to be honest, so I just tried my best to do what I could to get better, whether it's taking medicine, eating cough drops like it was candy, or like the lemon water. I tried everything, and eventually I did get better, but it took me about a while to really see improvements. It was like really crazy. Definitely I'm happy that I got over it, but apparently a lot of people ended up getting sick around the holidays, just from what I've heard from like the people I interact with at work, my coworkers, everything like that. But it was just like a simple cold, nothing like super serious. But if I have to be honest, this page is okay. I'm not 100% in love with it, but you gotta make do with what you got. Now we're on to my weekly spread. So out of everything, felt like I didn't know what to do with my weekly setup. I was just drawing blanks and I didn't know how I wanted to incorporate everything. But there was one spread that I didn't really do too much in the past, and I kind of missed it, so I ended up bringing it back, and ultimately it is the 2-week Dutch door spread. So I wanted to do it because, one, it actually worked really well with the color blocking scheme in terms of how the monthly calendar was set up and also how my playlist was set up, but also I really planned for 2 weeks instead of 1, so I don't feel like I have to constantly every week feel like I have to rush to get my weeklies done just so I could have it set up to have all my to-do things. So I was actually really excited about this, and I ended up doing like small little doodles. At first I was going to do the splash of lemons everywhere, just like how I did for my playlist, but I thought that would be like too much too soon. So I ended up just bringing back like the overview of what we kind of want when we're sick, which is a nice cup of lemon water or even like lemon tea. I was really feeling it this point in time, and I actually opted to give a different like side angle of how I kind of paint with gouache. Now, I'm not a pro by any means. I actually hate painting. I'm one of those people that I do like more of a constructed or a structured way of drawing versus something very loose and free-flowing like paint and watercolor. For me, I don't know what it is in my brain, but if it doesn't really have a structure, I feel like it's harder to achieve what it's supposed to look like. And so I don't know. Me and Gouache have been on really good terms lately, and I've been really liking how I use the medium, especially because it's like a watercolor slash acrylic type of combination. So it kind of moves and dries like a watercolor paint does, but it's actually blendable and just reactivates with water. So it's like the best of both worlds. I recommend you try gouache if you've never tried it before. Like I said, I don't really like painting. I don't really like watercolor. It's just too free-flowing for me, but I really do like gouache. Please try it if you haven't. Definitely keeping my weekly setup super simple. So again, I just did a jar of honey, but this time it gave it like a cute little cloth top just because I wanted to spice it up a little bit, and kind of made the focus of a section for to-do things. Basically things that I need to get done throughout the week that doesn't necessarily have like a specific day that I have to get it done by. So I didn't want to make my tasks into a box by any chance because I just felt like there was a lot of shapes going on. It's weird. I like to have a good balance of everything, and I just felt like having boxes on boxes and circles on circles is just way too much. And I just feel like at that point, I feel like it's a math class and I don't really want to see too much like geometric symmetry everywhere. So I basically left my task section pretty blank. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much, because honestly, this plan with me did take a lot, especially with all the technical difficulties, but I really loved how it came out and I love the feeling behind it. It's literally like a time capsule, and hopefully you guys stay safe this season, because I know I like to say it's the season of sniffles, but remember to make sure to drink your lemon water. And hopefully I see you guys next time. Bye.